What are different categories of operational risk? Operational risk is an element of the overall enterprise risk management, and here we are focusing on the categories of operational risk. So there are five different categories of operational risk. Whenever you are asked by anyone what are the categories of operational risk, so you have to remember that the operational risk arises from the people risk, then we have the system risk, process risk, legal risk, and the event risk. What are these five categories of operational risk? Let's discuss them one by one. So number one, we have the people risk. We know that every institution or organization is run by the human resource or the employees of the organization. Organization deploy or onboard employees for different functions and for different departments, like for example the treasury department, investment department, finance department, compliance department, risk management department, or business department, marketing and sales department, and so on. So people are critical for the success of any organization. Let's imagine what will happen if the employees of any particular organization frequently resigns from that organization. The operations of that organization will be disturbed or disrupted, and therefore the designation of people or critical employees of the institution is linked with the operational risk, because the operations of the institution will be disrupted if there is a frequent turnover of the employees and there is no backup plan available with the institution or organization. Now we have the system risk. Every institution or organization in this digitalization era is dependent on the automation or digitalization related systems and processes. Like for example, when we talk about the banking system, the banks deploy the core application system which are used to capture and store the customer information, employees information, regulatory requirements, databases, processing of different financial transactions, and so on. So whenever the system of any organization such as the bank collapses due to either the cyber attack or due to any virus injection into the system or due to the human errors, then that event will trigger the system based risk, and ultimately the operations of the banks or the operation of the institution will be disrupted, and therefore the system related risks are categorized into the operational risk category. Then we have process risk. Every institution or organization develops and implements different kinds of processes to run the daily affairs of the business or the institution. Like for example, there is the customer onboarding process. Then we have different kinds of finance process like payments to the vendors, payments to the suppliers, or dealing with the regulatory authorities, and payments of fixed assets, obtaining loans from different financial institutions, managing employees or human resource processes, administration processes, and so on. So whenever there is the inefficiency in any process, the process will lead to the disturbances of the operations of the institution. Therefore, process risk is categorized into the operational risk category. Number fourth is the legal risk. Every institution or organization has to comply with the relevant and applicable laws and regulations. For example, when we talk about the financial institutions are required to comply with certain specific laws like anti-money laundering laws or AML laws. Then we have data protection related laws like GDPR. ESG is then emerging area in the compliance domain, and then we have the cybersecurity related laws, etc. So legal risk is the risk of non-compliance with applicable laws and regulations, and whenever the organization or institution does not comply with any specific provision or the entire regulation or law, then the legal risk will be triggered, and ultimately the operations of the organization will be disturbed because regulators will impose different kinds of fines and penalties and will increase the inspections or observations on that particular institution. And finally, we have the event risk. Event risk is the risk of occurrence of natural disasters, which is obviously not in the control of the organization. But whenever the natural disaster occurs, like for example, the earthquake or the occurrence of fire in the major operational area of the institution, then the losses will incur and the operations will be disturbed. So these are the 5 categories of operational risk which we discussed, and these all 5 categories are classified into the operational risk category of the overall enterprise risk management. Thank you for watching this video, and for more videos you can subscribe this channel and watch other videos, conceptual videos which are already uploaded on this channel. Thank you very much.